Hello everyone and welcome to this series of manual software testing. In this series we will be learning about software testing in terms of the manual, and the purpose of this series is that to learn and develop the manual testing skills which will help you in day-to-day job as well as in the interviews. And furthermore, if you have any topic, just go to the comment section, comment your question, comment your topic. I will be covering that in my upcoming videos. So this is a part 1, so let's begin. This is a part 1 of this series, and we would be starting from very basics in this particular video, and let's see what topics will we cover in this one. So the topics which we'll cover in this one are: what is software testing, why software testing is important, difference between software testing and software quality assurance, difference between manual testing and automated testing, difference between quality assurance and quality control. Okay, so let's start with our first topic, which is software testing. So what is software testing? In simple words, you need to test a software. The activity or the action in order to test the software is known as software testing. And what is the context behind testing software is that you need to ensure that software is working fine as per the requirement. So this is the thought behind the software testing. So let me give you a very basic example here. So let me open a very basic calculator application. So this is a desktop application, and when we are talking about software testing, you might be testing the desktop applications, you might be testing the web applications, you might be testing the mobile applications, APIs. There are different things you need to test. So let's start with a very basic concept and assume that you have developed this software, and as a software tester you need to test this one. And the basic requirement here, so let me open a notepad here so that we can understand it in a better way. And so the requirement here is that in terms of calculator, the requirement is that calculator should be able to add two numbers and display the sum of those numbers. So that's the requirement. And obviously this application will be used by different customers, clients, and before giving this application to the customers and the clients, we as a software tester need to test it against the requirement. And so assume that this was the application, developer has developed this application, and this is your first requirement where you need to check that or test that this particular calculator should have an ability to add two numbers and display the sum of those numbers. So simply we need two numbers, so 2, then this is a sign of addition, click on this one, then let me give another name and press on equal sign. So we are getting the output, the sum is 20. So you see that I have tested a very basic functionality. So this is a concept of software testing. You need to test the software before you ship it to the actual customers, users, and as a software tester you need to ensure that it is working fine as per the requirement. So when we talk about the requirement, so this is in terms of requirement, this is known as expected, and when we actually executed this one and check, and so this is known as actual results. So this is a very basic example to make you understand. We will be developing our concepts thoroughly as we move in this series. Now let me go back to the second topic here, and the second topic is basically why software testing is important. There is mainly two reasons for it. The first one is that these bugs can be costly in terms of the financial things, and even if the software is buggy, if the software has issues, it can cost the human lives as well. So either companies have a financial loss, or human lives can also be at risk when we are talking about the bugs. And how it is linked with software testing. For example, if you haven't tested the software, okay, and there are bugs left in the application, and that bugs can actually create problem in terms of financial things, and those bugs even can cost a human life. So calculator was a very basic example here, and if I talk about the losses itself, so if you go to the browser and if you search for the software issues, recent software issues, you will find a lot of examples in the history where software issues or software bugs cost a lot of money to the companies, and the human lives were also at risk, or even people lost lives due to the software. So that's why software testing is really important. You need to test the software in order to ensure that it does not contain the bugs. And you will heard a lot of term bug free. So there's nothing like a bug free, but as a tester, what we need to ensure that user should be able to perform the software properly, and they should not encounter something which is very critical. Okay, now let me take you to the browser itself, and let's search for some common issues people occur. So in the Google, let's search for software bugs or software issues in recent years, and here you will find a different blogs on this one, and this is some blog or the website. Let me click on this one. So it listed down some major failures in the softwares in the recent years, and data loss at a GitLab is a very big company. British Airways technical issue, Amazon AWS outage, Google Plus security glitch. So there are so many issues you will find in terms of failures, and you just need to go and look into these ones, and you will find these failures. And due to these failures, companies lost millions of dollars, and in some cases there was a loss of the human lives as well. And if I talk about why there's a loss to the companies, so let me give you a very basic example here. So assume that you are having a e-commerce website, and on this website you are selling your products, and usually on these sites you give different promotions on different occasions. For example, on the new year you are giving a new year sales, right? And you say that we have a 50% discount on products. And now obviously as a business, your team would be marketing, or your customer will be getting know that you would be having a new year sales on maybe on the 31st or the 1st of Jan. So most of the people are coming onto your application. Maybe assume that usually you have a traffic of 1000 to 2000 users on the daily basis, but you are not aware that when you started this sale for the new year, and on that day there were 100,000 users who actually come to your application to purchase the products. Okay, and when we talk about the users here, so this means that the traffic is coming onto your website, your application, and this is a huge traffic as compared to your daily traffic. And due to this heavy traffic, suddenly your web application or your e-commerce website stopped working. And now what is the consequence of this one? The consequence is that from these 1,000 users, 100,000 users, there might be a lot of potential customers potential customers who actually come to your website in order to purchase something, but your application was not working due to the heavy load. This is an application or server issue, and they left the website. So assume that on the roughly they might be purchasing about $50,000 stuff from your website, but due to the application was not working, they left, and you have a loss of about $50,000 because the customers left. And this is a monetary fund. There's so many other examples. If we talk about online banking system, if you are unable to perform some transactions online, right? So I'm giving you another example, banking system, right? We have online access to our bank accounts and all the things, and assume that you are unable to perform amount transfer due to some issue in the application. And again, you will lose the customers, and as you lose the customers, you will lose the money, you will lose the revenue at the end of the day. Okay, so this is a financial loss. There are so many examples. You will go and search, you will find a lot of examples where you will see that companies have millions of dollars lost due to the software issues. And then when we talk about human lives, this is very critical again. And let me give you an example of Air China. So Air China, back in 1994, the Air China plane got crashed, and due to this crash, there were all people onboarded got died. There were 200 plus people onboarded on that flight, and when the investigation was completed, it was found that there was an issue in the airline software system, and that issue actually caused that crash. So there are so many things, because nowadays we are mostly relying on the online stuff. We are relying on the softwares. Either it's a social networking, either it's a banking, either it's a education, either it's a transportation. So every kind of industry is now relying on the technology and the softwares. As the technology is improving day to day, there is a risk of failures as well. So regarding this particular example, if we go back here and let's search for this one on Google, and Air China crash 1994 software testing issue. So here you find the different reports in terms of that particular incident which happened. So hard question is when a software glitch takes. So there's so many things. So if we talk about software testing failure, Air China 1994. So here you will find so much documentation on this one, the complete report in this one, and you will find all details about this one. So this crash was actually, the reason behind this crash was a software glitch. So what was the plane crash? Due to the software failures. And again, this is not just one example here. In 2019, Ethiopian Airlines plane crash which killed 157 people were accused by a pilot software failure as suspected. So there are so many examples. If you go here and you will explore, you will find different failures and issues happened on the softwares. So that's the reason, because human lives can be on stake. There is a financials involved. That's why software testing is really important. You need to test the software properly, identify the issues, get them fixed before actual users will use that software. So that's the importance of the software testing. Now let me go back to my next topic here, And the next topic is very much common, and the topic is about software testing versus software quality assurance. So in interviews, people will ask you about what is the difference between software testing and software quality assurance. So we just learned that what is software testing. Simply, software testing is the activity to test the software and ensure that it is working as per the requirement. And when we talk about software quality assurance itself, so quality assurance is all about the processes and standards. So when we talk about quality assurance, you would be improving the processes, you would be having a proactive approach where you would your approach actually defines in such a way that you want to prevent the bugs. And when we comes to testing itself, this is a part where you will be finding the bugs. QA is all about processes, standards, and in a way, and this is a way through which you can prevent the bugs to be appear in the actual software. Because you cannot develop a software in a day. You get the requirements, you refine the requirements, you start developing the system. Once it will be developed, then you will test it, right? So before refining the requirements, development approaches, standards, architecture, all things, here your QA involves, which will improve all the things from from requirement and delivery. Okay, so that's the difference between software quality assurance and the software testing. And when we talk about manual testing versus automation testing, even the words itself explains. But let me tell you, just like I tested as a software tester, as a human, I tested this particular calculator application, right? This was simple and very basic requirement here. But in most of the cases, when there's a huge software and where actually it requires a lot of testing efforts, so at that time, from manual testing, automation testing involves. So manual testing is, as a human, as a software tester, you would be testing the software or the application. And when we talk about the automation testing, so as an engineer or as an automation engineer, you would be writing a script, not reports. This is just for just having an image here. So you would be writing the scripts, or there are some tools in the available where it actually generates the script. There are some record and play options as well. The thought behind automation testing is that the testing should be done using the scripts or using the tools. As a human, you should not be involved. There was one functionality which we human tested easily and it was convenient. But if I say that you need to test 100,000 requirements on the system and you have only a month, how will you do that? And there is a possibility of human errors, you miss the different things, and that's the reason, because we already learned that the importance of testing. So in the shorter times, we are releasing the software to the market, to the actual customers, and that's why we need to automate our testing activities. On our behalf, a script or the tool will be testing the application, right? So this is a difference between manual testing and automation testing. And then in most of the cases, you would be asked about, in the interviews specifically, they would be asking about you, what is the difference between quality assurance and quality control? So as we discuss about from the requirements till its development, right? QA is involved. So quality assurance is more focused around the processes and the standards from requirement gathering. Okay, and quality controls comes after the development, right? It is more around the application. It is focused around the application. The purpose of quality assurance is proactive approach. So before actual software comes in and we start finding the bugs, before that, there are some processes, some standards are defined, and in order to ensure that these standards and processes are followed, you have to conduct the audits, reviews, inspections. So you need to do a lot of stuff in order to ensure that actual software will have less bugs. Okay, so it's a proactive approach. And quality control, on the other hand, when we are testing the application, it's a reactive approach. We will be finding the bugs. So quality assurance, we will be, our target, our approach would be preventing the bugs. On the other hand, in quality control, we will be finding the bugs. In quality assurance, we will be actually I have miss the places here. So in quality assurance, we will be doing the audits and inspections, and in quality control, we will be doing the testing here. So testing comes under the quality control. So there is one more question asked in the interviews: is testing quality assurance activity or the quality control activity? It's a quality control activity. You are testing the application right now. You're testing application in order to find the bugs. Your focus is around testing the application. You're not auditing the application, not doing the reviews around the process. You're not doing the inspections. Your approach is not to be proactive in order to prevent the bugs in the actual application. You're not improving the processes, standards, all the things. These all processes, standards, proactive approach, preventing bugs, quality audit, reviews and inspection, these all lie under the quality assurance. Whereas in quality control, we are application focused. We are working on the reactive approach. Our approach is to find the bugs, just like we did in our very basic example of the calculator, and these bugs are found using the testing activity. So these are topics I hope are now clear to you, and these topics will be helpful for your interviews, and also if you are working on the day-to-day basis, these topics will be very helpful. So in our upcoming tutorials and the parts, as I said in the earlier, if you have any questions or topics where you need a clarity, just go to the comment section and tell me about the topic or the question, and I will cover that in this series. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. If you like our content, then do like, comment, share and subscribe our channel. Once again, thank you so much and see you in the next tutorial.